It's time for another edition of Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Bradley Meyer of the Okoboji Wellness Clinic. Good morning, Dr. Meyer.
Hey, Dave. Good morning.
Well, it's a beautiful day. It's almost like spring has sprung. It's just crazy how nice it's been. We're going to talk today about getting folks feeling all good so they can enjoy this weather. One of the things I want to talk about today is changing the filter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So how many of us are not really thinking about doing this, but we're doing it for maintenance for our vehicles, our cars, for instance. I use the oil filter as an example, or every 10,000 miles we're changing the oil, what have you. So we really need to be thinking about how are we going to be detoxing our body, because as we've talked a lot about, Dave, there's so much involved with exposure to things that get our body sideways over a lifetime. And this, we've touched on the gluten number. There are so many other, chemicals, molds, environmental toxins, food toxins, a lifetime of things that, we touched on the organs last week in their job. Some of the organs literally are to detox the body, and that's the liver, and another example would be the kidney. And when those guys are compromised, they're not working as well, then they're not getting rid of the quote unquote poison in the body as well. So that kind of builds up and doesn't go anywhere. And a lot of folks that we're coming across here in the clinic, when we're listening to their history and looking at their labs and doing our evaluations, a great majority of folks are not detoxing their body well enough. And that essentially ties back to they haven't done a filter change for a while. And so there's a lot of different ways to go about it. I got a gentleman in the clinic right now that he is utilizing the Hyperbaric Therapy, which is increased atmospheric pressure going in this, almost looks like a tent or an ice shack, and he is using it to help with inflammation and detoxing his lungs, essentially. So he's got a history of COPD, emphysema, and he's on some inhalers, but he finds that he does a lot better when he comes in and does hyperbaric chambers for his maintenance. So he's having less shortness of breath, better lung capacity. So that's just one example, but there's so many different ways to kind of keep the body detoxed and help these organs that over time kind of get gummed up and not working quite as well. And things, just from a nutrition perspective, cruciferous vegetables, things like broccoli, kale, are very helpful at cleaning out the liver, for instance. But for folks that don't choose to go that route, there's so many different ways. The other thing you can do, and we have these at the clinic, is castor oil packs. And it's putting castor oil on the outside of right over your liver, on your abdomen, and then wearing a pack and a band around, kind of a Velcro band around your body or your torso at nighttime. And so doing this nightly, and you could do that for, a month or two straight, and then do it again down the road when you need another little bit of filter clearing or liver detox. So that, and then we can get into the whole other realm of other ways to help clear out those organs, get them functioning better. And there's a lot of herbals. Milk thistle is one example that many people will use, but there's a lot of herbal blends and supplement blends that are very good at helping the body detox. So if we do these things periodically, because we've got this exposure all year round to a lot of different things that gum up our organs, then those detox agents don't work as well. If periodically we're running through some of these regimens, it is helping our body resist infection and giving us more energy and having less brain fog that I'll talk about. Everything tends to work better when the systems are flowing. You know, the lymphatic system, the circulatory system, all those things naturally want to move the junk out of the body, but it definitely gets gummed up by a whole host of things that we talked about.
And we continue to talk about inflammation, and there's different ways to get inflammation in your body down. Hyperbaric certainly one of those. I've been seeing some things on red light therapy, another thing that you offer that again has proven to be extremely effective in some folks. And we've talked about diet a lot and how processed food inflames the body.
Absolutely. So if we're working on the one end to decrease inflammation, and that might be through red light therapy, for instance, or hyperbaric therapy, for instance, if we are still throwing toxins into the pool, then those things that are working to detox the body have more work to be done. So there are so many different angles that we offer and approaches through the clinic to get ourselves into a better state of balance that absolutely are critical and often overlooked as we kind of go along through life. Again, we many times are waiting for things to break down on the side of the road, figuratively speaking, with our bodies, and then seeking medical attention for that emergency. So what I would like to do is work with folks to help avoid that stopping on the side of the road and you know, having to change that flat tire or whatever. You know, that let's figure things out before we get to that point and work ourselves back. So we're not, you know, just the overall quality of life. It's a big deal. So and so again, we continue to help so many folks that come through the clinic, and like you said, red light therapy, another big form of light therapy. We've got a patch system that's called it's a LifeWave patch, but it's light therapy. So many times we're biostacking, and this is stimulating stem cells. So stem cells are a really good thing to help with cellular repair. So we get folks going on, you know, the red light therapy or the hyperbaric therapy or PMF treatments, and then we add on, in some cases, some light wave technology, stem cell technology, with this product that was created for the Navy SEALs, and that's another thing that can be a game changer for helping that body not only clear the toxins but promote optimal health. And so
and we're going to run out of time here, but one other thing, I think a patient, if they're able, needs to be their own advocate. I was visiting with a close family member this week about their prescriptions, and I was like, well, why do you take that? And they're like, I don't remember. And what happens is over the years, you go to see the doctor, they prescribe you something, and then you get a list of your medications together, and all of a sudden you find out you're on like 3 different blood pressure medicines, and you have to ask yourself, well, do you need all 3?
Huge point. And that I had a gal coming from Sioux Rapids yesterday. She came in, she's like, yeah, I read on the label the omeprazole was for, you know, not to be for an extended period of time. And that's even on the label when you buy that stuff over the counter, like Nexium or what have you. It says, ask your physician if you're going to be on it longer than 2 weeks. And so most of these things, like these as an example, these heartburn pills, these acid reducers, folks just start on them, and then they just keep getting refilled, and they stay on them. And then the downside of that is, over time, you're not absorbing the nutrients and minerals that you need to help the body stay in balance. So I see so many folks that have been on, again, a heartburn pill as a great example, that downstream they're not absorbing iron now, and then now they've got restless leg syndrome, or, you know, they can't keep their legs still, they hurt at night. So many things that yes. So advocate. You're absolutely right, David. Advocate. ask questions. Ask about, do I really need to be on this one, and what would it take for me to help get my body back into balance and in better fighting shape to get off of some of these prescriptions. So you really have to advocate, ask questions. We're happy to walk with you if you come into the clinic to talk about those different medications that you may be on and ways to maybe unwind things a bit.
All right, so how do folks come see you and get to feeling well? Not just surviving, but feeling well.
Absolutely. Give us a call at 712-339-6024, and we're at 3305 Berkwist Avenue in Spirit Lake, just off Highway 71. So we are happy to give folks a visit, a tour when they come in, just to see what it's all about, because it's a different approach than many folks in Northwest Iowa have been familiar with, traditionally speaking. So it's good to kind of just hop on in here and lay eyes to it. We do some discovery calls as well. So you can call and ask about that to say, hey, I'm not feeling good. Where do I start? I want to try a different approach. Do what you have here at the Okoboji Wellness Clinic. How is that going to apply to me? How would I walk through that process coming to our clinic? We can do that just over a televisit or a phone call, just to get a little bit more of information before you walk in the door, so you have an idea what the path ahead might look like.
Very good. Always a pleasure, Dr. Meyer. Thank you so much. We'll chat next week.
Sounds great, Dave. Take care, everybody. Be well.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Bradley Meyer of the Okoboji Wellness Clinic. You can also find them online at okobojiwellnessclinic.com.